I mean all the way back. If we want to get to the bottom of things, we've got to go back to the beginning.
This transparent bulging portion is called the cornea. Notice also the crystalline lens, which is one of the main features of the eye mechanism.
Take the remote unit from its handy storage space, and you're set for hours of pure pleasure. Enjoy your favorite programs, black and white or color.
Is that mic okay? How about mine? Because I'm always fucking with it, messing it up. Oh my God! What's wrong with this table?
What do you mean?
That.
Well, don't touch it. You know, it's fine. It's a set.
Boss. No, what well, before we start, but it doesn't matter. I like to just start talking. I don't getting into some kind of formal thing because I do a big description that I write, for YouTube. When we post, I don't know if you've seen them. Your name will be huge. It will be obvious, who it is, and so we just like to just start talking, and because the whole idea behind this, I mean, first of all, for me, I just feel like it's kind of age appropriate. I mean, I honestly would love to play drums again. I'm sure you feel the same. It's like sometimes you just want to get that guitar. You put those, you just want to do it.
Well, what's cool is my kid plays guitar.
There we go. You've got that. So you can listen and go, wow, look at that.
It's almost like watching if I had a chance to develop a little bit more, But
Right.
I could see where even my first guitar teacher who taught me like the Blackbird and the Hendrix version of Hey Joe, I could see the legacy live on with Eden, my kid.
Of course.
Isn't
that fantastic?
Because they can play Blackbird.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I see it kind of like go on.
Taking it and running. Hey, Mom gave me the ball. I'm running with it. It's so cool. How old is Eden?
28.
28. Wow.
They had an unsigned band called the Lovins, and then they were in a band called the 10th Band. Really loved those bands. But I don't think Eden really likes the music business, and you can't blame.
I was going to say. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes, you could have been the cautionary tale.
I think I am.
Say, the music business, it's a little rough. Well, we've all been through that, and of course, that's why you're here.
Yeah, I realized that because my mom got sick when I was like 15 and a half.
Yeah.
So I was running away to Hollywood, going to the Rainbow, going to Rodney's English Disco. I tried out for the Runaways.
Yeah.
But I feel like I really dodged a bullet there in terms of getting into some shitty-ass Fowley band,
No kidding.
And it just came out that like Kerry Chrome was able to sue his estate.
I saw that. Right. After all this time. Just like, don't give up. I mean, even though Fowley is not here, and we don't want to celebrate that or anything, but I had some time with him, sort of, and I just thought, it's the creepiest individual I've ever met. That's easy. That's an easy one with him, right? But then one time he actually called Jeff when I was in Gun Club, and he said, I want to manage you guys. And so we went over there as a kind of joke.
Sure.
We didn't tell him that. But we're just like, let's get some laughs out of this. Let's just see what he says. What a ridiculous idea. But it was 3 hours of just listening to him just sit in that monotone Frankenstein thing, And
Frankenstein lab.
So I can't even imagine what it would have been like.
I was a vulnerable teenager, is the thing.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Along with, like, Carrie, and some of the women in the Runaways as well. So I could have been in that position. I also tried out for Venus and a Razor Blades, which was also terrible manufactured kind of band. Although I did have some friends that were in it.
I did too. Nikki Beat, I guess, was in it for
Nikki.
just a moment. Yeah.
And then Kyle Raven. Do you remember Kyle?
Yeah.
The drummer? Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a friend of mine. I think I briefly dated him. And then was Daniel Faye in the band?
Oh,
Or
man.
her sister Dee Dee. I think it was Danielle.
Yeah, Daniel. Sounds more right.
Yeah, and love her.
Yeah.
But, I think that was another bullet I dodged as well.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That was a bullet you dodged.
And we were definitely, when Backstage Pass, when we all met, it was definitely an anti-Valley kind of band. We didn't want to be told what to do.
Yeah.
It's not like we weren't, they were kind of pandering to a male audience. That's what my bandmate Marina felt when she saw the Cherie Curry version.
Right.
I auditioned for the 3-piece lineup with Mickey Steele, but I was really a rhythm guitarist,
Right.
and Joan was a great rhythm guitarist.
Yeah,
So they were really looking for like a sort of Lita Ford.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Because I didn't know that. And I also didn't know until I read your book, All Roads Lead to Punk. Just in case, get that in there. About the thing with the mask. I mean, I met Brendan early on, before the mask was even anything. But right after it was something. He signed the lease, obviously. But that's what I find so fascinating sometimes, is these connections. That the mask existed, and I always thought, oh, well, it's Brendan's doing. Well, if not for her co-signing the lease, there would have been no mask.
Yeah. The girls in Backstage Pass, I was like the youngest member, but they had real jobs. Verena was, she co-signed the lease because she had a bank account, but she was a rock journalist for Teen Magazine.
Oh, yeah, right.
So she had a real job.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some of the other girls ended up like working at record companies and that kind of thing, like Columbia.
Yeah.
And so on. When we met at a Dr. Feelgood show at the Starwood.
Yeah.
And then there was an after party at the Continental Riot House.
Yeah.
And so that's where I met them. But it was definitely, we did not want a Svengali. We did not want to be told what to do.
Yeah.
It's not that we weren't wild and crazy and sexy sometimes. And also, going after guys in bands or whatever we were. But we were also wanted to be in a legitimate band. You know?
But you could do that on your terms.
Yeah.
Instead of some Kemp Valley.
Yeah, we didn't want that.
Whatever.
Of course, there were no traffic problems. But in time, there were plenty of others.
The second layer is called the choroid. It consists of 3 different belts or zones. The first zone is called the choroid proper.
Turn the set on. Select your channel. See all color shows in living color.
It's like instead of being manipulated by whatever vision he had. And that's up for debate, whether that was a real vision or not.
And then who exactly wrote those songs? Like, I think Carrie Crome might have written like parts of Cherry Bomb and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of that stuff was going on. The music business is, it sort of reminds me of when like black artists used to get ripped off, for, their songwriting and royalties and things like that. So we were trying to avoid that.
Right. Well, I mean, were you guys conscious, like when you started that band? Because you really, I mean, how many all? Now I realize the drummer situation, but still, all female band at that time. Man, there weren't too many.
No,
You know.
and and then we have to talk about the bridge between glam and punk.
Sure,
Which
exactly.
Alice Bagg was very astute in making that observation.
Right.
But punk really came out of the glam scene.
It did, yeah, totally. I mean, who was not a fan of T-Rex, David Bowie?
Yeah.
I mean, who wasn't?
Yeah.
We all were. Roxy Music, forget it.
Yeah, that's
know.
the bands we were going to see,
Yeah.
you know.
And of course, New York Dolls.
Yes.
So, there was so much happening there, and it just, the Ramones kind of galvanized all of it. I came here in late '76
Okay.
from Texas, and but I mean, I came out with some clothes. It was just going to be a temp stay. I ended up staying forever. But I had just bought the Ramones album before I came out, and when I came here, I didn't know anybody. My cousin, and I accidentally found Rodney's show on Sunday night, and I'm like, oh my God, this is a thing. Look,
Yeah.
he's playing all this other stuff, which I'd never heard. And then immediately, of course, at the time, no internet, so you're like, oh, well, where can I go?
We all like sort of
physically?
found each other.
Yeah,
and-
we just found each other.
Yeah. So I also went to see the Ramones, and in high school, my mother got sick and then she died, and then quickly my father got remarried, which was kind of tragic for me at the time. But I thought, I had this new outfit, and I thought, I'm gonna go wear this to fucking meet the Ramones, which I did.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And I was all over it,
Yeah, yeah, right. I mean, that it was just such a flame that attracted certain people.
I remember going to see them at the Bear,
Oh, in Huntington Beach? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I missed that show. I saw him at the Whiskey the first time.
I saw them at the Whiskey.
Yeah. It's like January '77,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it was 77. A lot happening in. I think one of the first shows was that Dr. Feelgood show that was in the spring of '76.
Yeah.
And that's where I met. The road manager was Andrew Jakeman, and he became Jake Riviera.
Oh, right, of course.
And that's kind of like the connecting point for me.
Yeah.
And he started Stiff Records, of course.
Yep.
The Damned were signed to Stiff Records, and they were the first British punk band to come to
I
the
saw him at the
States.
Starwood, that show.
Me too. And they were on a tour with television, but got kicked off for upstaging. And so then he had to hustle. And so half of them stayed with us, half of them stayed with the Screamers
Oh, my
at
God.
Wilton Hilton.
Yeah.
And then that's when Slash Magazine started.
Yeah.
And I was in that whole issue.
You were right there in day one.
That one with Dave Vaney on the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you are an OG.
Yeah.
LA punk.
Yeah.
And it's weird, actually. So I was there too, at all these things that you were there. But it's strange how, and you. I mean, I thought I don't know if I thought I knew everybody, but there's so many people that were just kind of showing up, and they were all so fantastic and so amazing and unique and creative in their own ways, And I just thought, God, this is unbelievable. I'm not gonna. Go
I think
ahead.
one of the first gigs, the first gig at the Mask. Well, we were one of the first bands to be in the Mask, obviously.
Yeah.
And we built the first rehearsal space with the skulls and the controllers.
Yeah.
But I think the first gig was someone temporarily stole our PA, and I think that became the first gig.
Oh. Stole, borrowed it.
They borrowed it.
Right, because I remember Brendan saying something like, Well, this was the first time that in fact, okay, let me just say this really quick. So, I was friends with Michelle Meyer.
Me too.
Booking the whiskey.
Me too.
And for like
She
a
worked
month.
for Kim Fowley.
Yes. And for a month, she and I actually lived together. There was no touching. But we lived together in an apartment just south of Sunset Boulevard, just south of the whiskey. One of those square blocks, And it was unfurnished. We just had to have I don't know who was paying for it. It wasn't her, it wasn't me. Somebody was paying for it.
Kim Valley, probably.
Yeah. So one day she says, okay, there's this place called The Mask. We don't know what it is. We want to go check it out. So get in my little Volkswagen Fastback. So let's get in your car, and we got to go pick up Kim. So we go to East Hollywood and pick up Kim. And, of course, he's, tall and skinny like a praying mantis. And he gets in the back of the car, and he's bitching and moaning about it. This is horrible. Who's driving? This rube from somewhere. I just remember thinking, God, what a dick. But there he is in the back of the car, bitching and whining the whole way. So we go to The Mask, and there it is. And so Brendan was kind of having like an open house.
Oh.
And just saying, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do. And this leads me to the question is, so he was saying he was going to build the stage, or he's thinking about having bands, but you obviously must have known or been there
Well,
when...
Marina says that he wanted it to, punk happened, but he wanted it to be like sort of an Andy Warhol type situation.
Okay, right.
Like sort of an art house.
Sure.
But then punk happened, and it sort of informed what The Mask became, really. Yeah. And, but that it's funny when you're saying that, bitching and moaning, because, Jake Riviera was kind of that way as well. He was more charming and
Sure,
and
right.
cuter. But there was that kind of, these fat Americans and, with their McDonald's and,
Yeah.
Yeah, there was all of that.
There was a lot of that at the time.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, and then so when you played The Mask, because I saw you guys.
Yeah,
at The
we
Mask.
did play The Mask. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know how many times did you play The Mask?
I'm not sure.
There was a few times, right? Probably.
Brendan liked us because Spock, our bass player, was having a fling with him.
Oh, okay. Well,
So not that many people were having flings with Brendan.
with Brendan, yeah, I know.
But yeah, Spock was into it.
Okay. All right. Well, I didn't know.
May she rest in peace.
Yeah, exactly.
Both of them.
Right.
Yeah.
He, I don't know. It's such a blur.
A lot of it is a blur.
The Mask, yeah.
You know what my favorite thing about The Mask was, because I was just this little chatty teenager, was they had a telephone booth.
Oh, right.
And
Yes.
we had,
Yes.
allegedly, Miles Copeland's credit card. So I used to call England all the time. And I would call people like
Right.
Clive Langer from Deaf School, and who I later introduced to Jake, and he became this huge producer for all these Madness, all these great, all these great albums he did with his partner. But I used to call him. I said, "You want to listen to us rehearse?" But I would just be chatting.
Right.
I like the phone booth.
God, I know.
Some of the stuff was a little bit dark for me at times. There was so much piss and
Oh, yeah. It was gross.
gross stuff. And
Yeah.
I was just coming off the heels of my mom dying. So
Yeah.
I don't think that was the real me, but I kind of went along with it.
Well, look, I think a lot of us
Peer pressure,
just went along with whatever was happening.
Yeah.
We each define that kind of rebellious thing in our own ways and for our own reasons. And,
We were all converging for
Yeah.
different reasons, or
but
maybe
united by the music.
Yeah, and maybe difficult home lives.
Yeah.
When my family was intact, I was a very different girl.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
then I became like the black sheep of the family.
Mm-hmm.
I feel very grateful and fortunate that punk happened and that I was a part of it, and I had this place to feel feel okay with the other kind of weirdos, and you didn't have to
Yes,
be.
and to help define who you were at that time. We're all
Yeah.
so young, you know. We don't know how to define ourselves, but what a great thing that we had that community united by music, even though we were, it's just so different. There's so many different kinds of people, and but but I want to get back to, because here's what, as somebody like an outsider, I always kind of felt like that because I wasn't born here, I didn't grow up here, but came in, saw that, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Within a few months of being here, and I was extremely shy, and it was hard for me to do it, but I did it anyway because you have to. But it seemed like to me that all of a sudden, you've got rock and roll, however it was defined for many years, blah, blah, blah. Then we have this thing that's our thing. And suddenly women are everywhere. I was never in a band that didn't have a woman in it. I remember thinking one day, wow, that's kind of weird. I've never been in a band with just guys. Thank goodness. I'm kind of glad because I liked the women that I was in bands, Pat and Allison.
Mm-hmm.
But I do remember thinking at the time, it's like, oh, those two girls are roadies. That girl's a bass player. Oh, she's a guitar player. Oh, she's singing. So it wasn't like some token kind of thing. It was suddenly, it seemed to me like there was this freedom to be anything you want.
Yeah, I think Backstage Pass, in a way, inspired some people that didn't really know how to play even, and just saw us doing it. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Let me try
You
to.
had to have inspired them.
Yeah, so even like the Germs and that kind of thing, I
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I came from this very patriarchal situation in high school where it was like the makings of Toto, and it wasn't. I used to bring my Les Paul Jr. to school, and they were like,
I know, right?
"No, that's not cool." Like acoustic,
Yeah.
like play Cat Stevens. but
Sure, yeah,
I
do
was like,
that.
no,
You
Mom.
got a folk song for us?
Yeah, not going to do that. Definitely not,
Right.
And and what was your first concert, by the way?
There?
Just in
I think
general.
the first show that I went to.
No, what was your very first concert that
Well,
influenced you?
I lived in Denver with my family in 67, 68. And I had a friend across the street, Peter. And one weekend in Denver's, I guess it was the football stadium. I don't think they had a big football stadium at the time. They had a stadium, though, and it wasn't very big, though. And we went to see Creedence Clearwater, Poco, Johnny Winter, and I wanted to go see Hendrix, but he was playing Sunday, and I had to go to school. My mother said, no. She gave me the $12 to go to the show, to get in. So it was Creedence who headlined. That
And
was
were
the
you
very
already
first concert.
drumming at that point?
Yes. My friend
Yeah,
Kevin.
I started playing guitar at 8.
Yeah, see, I wanted to talk about that because you wanted a guitar.
Yeah.
That's such a cool thing.
Yeah.
know?
My first introduction to actually rock and roll was my babysitter Jill, who was into Elvis Presley, and she turned me on to. But I was like,
There we go.
5 years old, and then I saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan,
Yeah.
and then I was like, wrote a letter to Elvis like, you should shave your sideburns and you should like change your hairstyle to match the Beatles look, and like handed it to my mother. And then we moved, and I had this different babysitter, and her name was Cookie. And she was in a folk duo, and she taught me how to play guitar. So by
about
that time,
that?
I was like 8.
And obviously you loved it.
I loved
mean,
it.
The
Then
fingers, the pain.
Eventually, I wanted an electric guitar, and my parents did buy me that electric guitar.
And they got it for you.
Yeah, they
That's
did.
incredible.
And a little practice amp.
Yeah.
So everybody loved it, but not the people I went to high school with.
Yeah.
But my cousin took me to see a Kinks concert at the Palladium, and I didn't know that I had claustrophobia, which I found out
Oh,
because
my God,
the
really?
Palladium's like festival seating, right? And
Yeah.
so I fainted. But before I fainted, I met all these people that went to Fairfax High School, and they were much cooler, maybe because they lived near Hollywood. They loved to have the idea of a girl playing electric guitar.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was kind of, I got all their numbers, stayed in touch with them. I'm still friends with them.
Oh my God, isn't that cool?
And
Yeah.
one of the guys became my first boyfriend, Marvin Etzioni, who was in Lone Justice.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And he actually came with me to the Runaways audition
I auditioned, yeah.
on San Vicente. And he wrote a song called She Plays Guitar. And Kim, it's like the Kim Fowley edition. Kim introduced him. Bob Dylan wrote you a song. He had like curly hair, and he played the guitar. But the whole thing was just like a bust.
Bob Dylan wrote you a song.
Yeah. And then I think Kim said I needed to lose weight or something. Which is
That's when you
every
should have hit him.
anorexic dream.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
A swift kick somewhere
Yeah.
might have made you feel better.
Yeah. Then he outed me for being bisexual at Rhino Records, like in front of like a crowd,
Why
so
would he
people
do
would
that?
laugh.
But I mean, why would he feel like there's currency in that? You know, to stand up and say something like that, especially someone like him who's supposed to, I'm sure he defined himself as some kind of, rebellious, anti-social. I don't understand
Yeah, it was
what he found.
not cool, and it was I felt like disappearing, because
That's-
I didn't really understand like my queerness, and my, but I certainly didn't need him to tell all this crowd of people at Rhino.
Building the first houses near a crossroad, then the church and the mill.
The next zone is called the ciliary body. This is a broad ring-shaped band of thin muscle fibers, which play a very active and vital part in the visual adjustment of the eye.
Once you've adjusted fine-tuning for each channel, you never need touch fine-tuning again, either at the set or on the remote unit.
It was nice in the punk scene to see that more women it was more inclusive,
It just seemed to me like it just kind of was all of a sudden, boom, there. And because I'd say in my book, and I believe that it was obvious to me that I went to the Starwood once, and I think it was, I can't remember the band. It was early on, and so we're all standing there, a few feet from the stage. The stage wasn't that high at the Starwood. And so the band comes out, and I remember the first people to run to the front of the stage were like Trudy and Helen and all the girls, right? Boom, they're right there. Where are the guys? Back here in a line in their jeans and T-shirts, being dorks. And I'm back there with them thinking, God, what are we doing? Look at them. And I remember also another time out
We
in front
had
of
so
the
much
whiskey.
fun.
The girls would walk across the street and cars would just stop. It's like, look at that, I can't believe what I'm saying. But they had the guts. They had this creativity initially.
did, the creativity.
To rip the clothes up, do the things.
Oh yeah, and then the stuff that we did, like with photo booth photos and the graphics and
Just so
the
fun.
flyers. I think people would hire Trudy to pass out flyers.
Yes.
This gig, whoever
Yep.
the band was, and women on the scene did many things.
They led that revolution,
Yes.
is my point.
Yes.
And it's okay. They did. And I'm like, well, fuck, Thank goodness somebody had those balls
I met Exene before she met John Doe.
before she met John. Oh, wow.
Yeah, we used to like dance at the Rainbow just to be weird, But her, her scrawl, her handwriting,
Yeah.
all those like interesting things that were being, all the creative things that were going on through these
Again,
women, you know.
Yeah. So I mean, to me, it's like, it's not a competition.
No.
I don't think. I just think it's great, though, to give credit where it's due because it's obvious. Because I was there and I could see it happening in front of me, and I'm just like, well, celebrate that. Isn't this fantastic that they've got all this creative energy? I mean, guys, don't feel bad. You're going to be a part of all this, but my God, look at this.
I think the reason that the skulls were at the mask was because of Marina went to college with Chaz T. Gray. I think that's what brought the skulls.
That's why
in.
they were there so early. Yeah. I wondered. I loved them though. They were such good bands.
Yeah, I love Chaz. I used to hang out with Chaz, and just read all like the fanzines that were out at the time. I don't know. It was like Backdoor Man.
Yeah.
Fast Freddy. You know.
So many.
And then later, Pleasant and Teresa Kyriakis, they had their lobotomy.
Lobotomy.
But that was in 78, I believe. But so I was hanging out with Chaz. He was in one of the apartments at the Canterbury.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, Chaz was.
'Cause I lived there with Jane Weedland.
Yeah, Jane.
We were in the same
Jane
apartment.
Drano.
Yeah, Jane Drano, right. On the second floor. But there were a lot of people. So many people were coming and going at that place. You know,
I remember Jane. There was a band called the Wildcats.
Yes.
So it was Gerard Taylor. It was Derek Taylor's son, one of his sons, which is funny because Derek Taylor worked with my husband at Apple.
Oh, wow. How about that? Yeah.
And I had a crush on Gerard, and Gerard had a crush on Jane. But Jane wasn't interested in Gerard, and Gerard wasn't interested in me. It was like really funny.
Well, ask me how I know that.
How do you know that?
Yes. So we went to the Whiskey, Jane and I, one night, and the Wildcats were opening for whoever. And I could tell, that this thing was going on. You could just feel the energy. And I'm like, God damn it, I'm not going to let this happen. So I stood there at the lip of the stage, the Whiskey, which is a little bit higher, while Gerard's doing whatever his thing. And I just, like that the whole show. Fuck you, buddy. I was such a jealous boyfriend. Every now and then I look at Jane, and she's like, oh, God. So, but nothing happened. He would try to come over and do little kicks. I'm just meet me after the show, man. Just come on, just do it. It's so stupid. Now I look back and I just cringe.
Yeah, we were. Were you at the punk rock fashion show?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so that was Jane before the Go-Go's.
Yeah.
And Gerard, who was he had all this garbage on.
He was probably a fun guy. Sorry, Gerard. Forgive me.
And his brother Tim, and I'm looking very. I had the half female, half male, sort of this. I don't know, early non-binary statement.
Yeah.
I think my message about that was, I don't care if I'm a male or a female. I want to play rock, in a rock band.
There you go.
I want
Right.
to play electric guitar.
Yeah.
I think that was the inspiration for it. So I would make one half no makeup, one half makeup, and there was like a bra and a vest on the other side. Yeah. And so I think I looked a bit cool. And but yeah, Gerard looked a little clowny. Sorry, Gerard.
Yeah, I know. We're apologizing. It's like, I do feel
he
bad.
had like chains and whatever. And and I think Jane, the back of her, because I have a picture, she looked like she had been whipped from behind. Mm-hmm. Like almost like a religious thing, like when they, what do they call that?
Oh, the Pentatente.
Like
in New Mexico, do that thing. Yes. That's
yeah,
what
she had like scars on her back that she made. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And
I didn't make 'em.
But everybody was there, but it was kind of a joke in a way.
It was. Yeah. I mean,
It was silly.
the Avengers and
Yeah.
and like you said in your book, the rumor was the Clash were gonna
Yeah.
come out and play. I don't know where that got started, but I thought the Avengers were great. But
And then maybe it was going to be Richard Hell. I'm not sure, but it was Blondie, and it was Devo before the
before
the
the little plastic
plastic.
pyramid hats,
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
that was.
Yeah. It was Devo
Well,
prior to
I
that.
thought that show was kind of like it was. Word got out about it, or maybe it was actually advertised because of the venue. They're going to do that. So it seemed to me like, well, it's not us in crowd anymore. It's like, who are all these people
It was jokey.
just there to look and gawk and, oh, this is dumb.
I
You
think
know?
it was like an excuse for us to all hang out.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Because we love every one of those. Because,
It was like, oh, well, we'll just all hang out.
yeah, pre-internet, you hung out.
Yeah.
I mean, you had to.
Wherever, like on the street
It didn't
corner.
make any difference.
Anywhere.
Yeah, right, I know.
Yeah.
Parking lot behind Licorice Pizza, it didn't matter.
Yeah. Exactly. Licorice pizza.
Yeah, go back there, have a couple of beers, then go to the whiskey.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, I know.
Yeah.
It's
So
like
that
we're
was a
so-
bit of a joke, but just an excuse for us to all hang out for sure.
Yeah, and that was, of course, the beauty of the mask because it was our first, little home away from home. I mean, the whiskey was hosting us. We could play there, play the Starwood, which now, now to look back on it, I mean, we were just handed this gift horse, like
Yeah, we
two
were because
premier
I
clubs.
got Eden a gig. I think their first gig was at the Whiskey, but it was pay to play.
Pay to play, right?
And Eden's like, "Oh no, we're never playing here again." I was like, "Really?" But with
Well, good
us,
for him, though.
yeah,
That's cool. Yeah.
they them, my daughter, yeah, and so. We just I don't even know how we got these gigs. Starwood.
I know, right? I don't either.
Whiskey, Mabuhay.
I know they just kind of happened. I think when I was in the bags, Craig Lee was doing all that. Somebody had to do it.
Right. I
Somebody
think
had to
Spock
make the phone call.
I was like 5-6 years younger than most of the people in my band, so I think
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Spock was doing it.
Yeah.
Marina, I don't know.
Well, it was just. It
Or
was just
bands would say, "Do you want to open with us? Do you want to
Right. Right, and that was beautiful because, because we did know each other, and it was, it was pretty tight knit. Nobody was more than a degree or two separated
Right.
from anybody. I mean, even though I didn't meet you at the time, we were 1 degree separated, or
For
one
sure.
person, and that could have happened just anywhere. I mean, and that was one of the things I loved about that. And there's Backstage Pass. I mean, you guys, that was the first. You were the first band like that, all female punk.
The one missed opportunity, I don't know if you know this, Holly Vincent was in our band, very talented.
Yeah.
Probably the really good songwriter, singer, but she was also a drummer.
Oh,
I wish
didn't know that.
I wish she would have been our sort of Karen Carpenter
Oh, I know,
drummer.
right?
I don't know
Yeah.
why. Maybe she just wanted to play guitar and be up front at that point.
so.
But she was a great drummer. Her brother is a drummer.
Wow.
And I think that was a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
And then she went on to do Holly and the Italians.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Well,
She's-
gosh, there's a lot of those.
She's a great songwriter.
It's
Very talented.
exactly,
Yeah.
and it's amazing how there's people that we just meet at the time, and they're just our friends, they're our buddies, they're
Yeah.
our whatever, and then over a little bit of time, they kind of shine here, or just some crazy coincidence. They meet this person and meet that person. But I think
That's why I called one of my chapters Connections when I met
Yeah,
Jake at this Dr. Feelgood thing.
yeah.
And but it was interesting how you could feel like sort of the pulse of the change in the air when punk was about to happen.
Yeah.
You know, it was really like clearing out that sort of dinosaur rock, those big bloated limo things, Led Zeppelin, you know, not that I don't like Led Zeppelin, but I'm just saying those big record company parties.
Yeah. It had to happen.
Yeah, I think that was one of the things that, you know, was really important about it,
Yeah.
was just changing all that. And I came from this very sheltered background, you know, and just seeing like some of the things that, some of the antics that like Jake Riviera did, you know, like just like kicking in rent-a-cars and, you know, like saying, basically saying fuck you to the, you know, send this record company food back and this kind of thing, because it was all going to cost the band. It was all going to ultimately something that they would have to pay for, you know. So that was a big education for me to see that and witness that.
Right, and I think that was kind of before the Damn show. You know, he came out and yelled at all of us.
Oh yeah.
And then got off
course.
stage and was screaming and yelling, and we're kind of laughing. We're like, God, chill, dude.
Yeah, when he stayed with us at our apartment, me and Marina had an apartment together on Courtney Avenue in Hollywood, and I didn't know, I was very young, and I had put up these like shelves that I guess probably held my records, and he was like, wherever he was sleeping, the shelves just kind of toppled on him, and then he was like yelling at us, like saying, I was really into the band The Kinks, and he would say, this is all you listen to is Kinks, and he would throw our records and he'd break records, and Marina was a journalist and she had to like review these things, that some of the records and things, and then he was always yelling.
Thanks, Jake.
Yeah, he was a bit of a bully.
But that, I mean, to me, it just kind of, first of all, it epitomized, you know, and I think it was really good because it was like a punch, just what you were talking about.
Yeah.
How so many things were suddenly different, and for him to come out and yell like that, you know,
shake
even
things
though,
up, you know.
Yeah, it just punched right
saying,
through that wall.
It's like so warm here. You guys are such fat, ugly Americans. This, that. Yeah.
The usual Brit stuff at the time.
Yes,
but,
typical Brit stuff.
But it was still healthy for us.
Yeah.
To get that kick, I think, because it just shook up our thinking a little bit, and you know.
And then we would answer our telephone, Stiff Records, can we help you? Like we were like Stiff Records West. I think there was some kind of plan that we might be on Stiff Records, but it didn't happen.
Oh, well, that's too bad. Damn it.
Yeah, but we did open for Elvis Costello, which was
where at?
The Whiskey.
Oh wow, okay.
It was November 1977. So he didn't want anyone to upstage Elvis, you know. The other thing he did, this was during Damned came in the spring, and he was trying to get a U.S. deal for Elvis Costello. So we lived right near Island Records, and he went down to Island, and he was standing on their desktops and yelling at them, and you know, causing a freaking commotion.
And Jake.
Yeah, it was. Who was Island Records? He's amazing. Chris something?
I don't remember. God, it's right at the tip.
It's at the tip of my tongue. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
But he did that, pulled that stunt. There was a lot of stunt things going on, you know. So we got to open for Elvis Costello, which was such a
must have been
amazing thing, kind of nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
And
kinda?
Yeah, it was nerve-wracking.
Oh, I'll bet.
And I was playing, I was very influenced by Wilco Johnson, so I was, you know, that's how I play guitar. I tried to, anyway. And we did a set, and then Elvis said, I like the way you play guitar. And I was like, and then he said, I hate trees. I was like, yeah, me too. And then he said, oh, let's go kill someone. I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then Marina's parents, who lived like in Beverlywood or something, they were out of town, so we all went and stayed at their house. And, you know, went off into little rooms. I went off with Elvis. And yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was the life.
We
then.
had a fling. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean,
And-
it was, that's just what it was.
Yeah.
There was this freedom to do that.
I was a big Elvis Costello fan of his music and the attractions.
Now, wasn't
especially.
that more than one night he was at the Whiskey? At
Yes,
that
it was
day?
2 nights,
Yeah,
4
'cause-
shows. If you remember,
Right, yeah.
whenever you, well, not when you were playing, but whenever you would be at the Whiskey and you wanted to stay for the second set, you had to hide, like, and Pleasant tells this hysterical story about how people would just, like, pile up into the bathroom, like, and like a totem pole almost, you know. But, or if you could, you know, go hang out with the band in the dressing room, then you were safe. But they tried to clear it out because that's how they made money, you know.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, we did 2 shows a night, and it was 2 nights.
Yeah, because I was there for one of them, but I can't remember
It was fun.
which one. No, it was great. There's a lot. There's so
And
much
that's when Elvis,
electricity.
like, broke that beer bottle and then threatened it, or is a glass
right.
or
Yeah.
beer bottle. And he, like, yelled at a heckler.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wasn't there for that one, but
Yeah, he was. There was a couple interesting things that happened at the Whiskey, like at the Blondie show, when Tom Petty opened up for Blondie.
I was there. Yeah, saw
Yeah,
that,
and then Tom Petty was, I guess, pissed off that it was a weird.
it was a weird bill.
It was a weird bill.
Yeah.
You know, when music changes, promoters and whatever, they don't get it right.
Sometimes they don't. Yeah, right off
like
the bat.
it's like 10 years prior, Hendrix was opening up for the Monkees.
For the Monkees,
right?
I know.
You know,
It wasn't even that long before. You know?
I know, crazy. And so Petty, yeah, it wasn't a very good pairing. And so he had, I don't know how, he had a can of black spray paint. I don't know why. I don't know why this happened.
Yeah.
And Debbie was wearing this angelic white wedding dress, which I was heavily hanging out with Blondie at the time. And we went thrift shopping, and that was one of her purchases. And it had a veil, and he took the can of spray paint and he sprayed TP on her dress.
Yeah.
But it wasn't funny.
No, it's not funny.
Yeah,
No,
it was
it wasn't
not
funny.
funny. And so, and it was a killer
Oh,
dress.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
he defiled her dress.
Well, what do we call that? Oh, yeah, dick move.
Yeah,
Why would you do that?
I don't know. It was,
Whatever. You know, look, I mean, there was tons of energy with a group like Blondie. It was so fun to watch. I love that first album. I mean, and to see them do all that live. Sorry,
I
Tom.
really loved that first album too.
Oh, fantastic.
And I
God.
loved the first lineup with
Yes.
Gary.
Gary and Clem, just everybody. That
Wow,
it was so
And
good. That
Clem,
was
what a
magic.
drummer!
Well, I know, right?
You know,
So fun, so good to watch. That was real magic. So to me, I mean, I was after that stopped and they got rid of the band. I'm like, okay, I'm done.
yeah.
I just couldn't, because that is a magical thing. You know, it's not a band is not a singer, and then whoever can be behind them. If a band achieves that kind of magic, you know, it's why some bands like the Who, they wanted to break up, they fought with each other all the time, but they didn't because they had this incredible thing. So you know, you got to stick it out, man. You just got to do it. And
My husband did the album cover for Who's Next,
oh, really?
and then later, he's a jerk. You know.
Yeah.
He said that the album cover was a piece of shit. It's one of my favorite album covers.
Yeah, I know. It is good.
Yeah. But Yeah, all these bands did fight, but you know what the record company tends to do is it's like, this is my star. And so they were all just really animated. And so they didn't want
Yeah.
any attention taken away from Debbie.
Oh, I know. Well,
And that's what they do. It was like when I later worked for Linda Ronstadt.
Linda Ronstadt,
And
yeah.
when it was the Stone Ponies, they saw what Linda, then they were like, no more Stone Ponies, we're doing Linda.
yeah. I know it happens. It was just a thing.
That's what they do.
And
When it
that's
was
what
the
they do.
Bangles,
Yeah.
Susanna, you know, it was like, and it causes a lot of chaos and conflict sometimes.
Well, I mean, the same thing with the Go-Go's and Margot,
Yes.
who started the band, named the band.
Did you know that they asked me to be in the
Oh, you
Go-Go's?
really? Yeah.
But I was had left Backstage Pass, and I was the co-owner of Straight Jacket.
Oh, Straight Jacket then.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And Belinda came in. They were just starting to get some success. They went to England, whatever.
Right.
But I turned it down. And I don't think I would have survived 1 minute in that band. And I was not a bass player. Maybe.
Oh, they wanted you to play bass. Okay, yeah, I was wondering.
So they got Kathy. And the Kathy was
Yeah.
my roommate during my Straight Jacket era.
Oh,
And I saw the pressure cooker with them
I bet.
and the drugs, you know.
Yeah.
The cocaine and the this, the that,
The stuff, I know.
the stuff, the drinking.
It just, yeah. You
Yeah.
know, but I mean, we could have, like, it's like, oh my God, why would people do that? Well, I don't know, because they've never experienced, stardom to that degree or even close. And so it's easy to say, oh, I wouldn't have done that. But I mean, I wish we'd been given the chance.
Oh yeah, you know.
I mean, I think I always thought of Backstage Pass, if you guys had, because like so many other bands, we would just start on a whim. Oh, I'm going to be in a band now.
I honestly think we would have sounded close to like the Bangles, like a harmony.
Yes.
kind of
No, you could have.
jangly.
It was
I think
there.
that would have been what we would sound like.
It was in the bones. It was right there.
We
And-
just didn't have it. We were, at first struggling to. Some of us hadn't played before, so we were struggling to like figure it out.
Yeah. How do we do this?
But I think we would have. That would have been like what we sounded, because I think a lot of us were influenced by seeing the Beatles on Ed Sullivan.
Sure.
So we were even initially doing some Beatles covers like Rain or Boys, stuff like that. So I think that would have been our natural sound.
You would have got there.
Yeah.
And it would have just got better and better and better. I mean, there's a lot of bands that
I never stopped writing songs or
Yeah.
playing, by the way.
Really?
Because so even when I had Straight Jacket, I was playing.
Because it's in you. It's part of you.
So actually Jake married someone who I met. You know how we all just met each other like
Yeah,
on the
I
street
know.
or whatever. Tower Records, walking to Tower Records, or
amazing how that
walking down the street. And so I had met his future wife, her name was Tony, and she was like the actual like sort of seamstress for the band. And I thought, wow. She lived on Clark Street by the Whiskey.
Oh, yeah, right
and
there.
she used to make like these exact, she could draw you to the T. So she would, let's say, draw Rick Nielsen from Cheap Trick, and she would go to the sound check. You could do anything back then, There was no like paparazzis.
Yeah,
there was no like
exactly. You could.
issues.
Yeah. Open
And
doors.
she would show them the sketch, and then she would make, and I thought, wow, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And she made Nick Lowe's Riddler suit, and I just watched her like doing the, the question marks on this sharkskin green suit, and I was like, wow, I was in awe.
Yeah.
In awe. And so that was like my next move. That
Yeah,
was
that
like
looked
what I
cool.
wanted to do. But even though I wasn't in a band, I was actually started writing songs with her, and she was writing lyrics and I was writing melodies, and we were briefly signed to Jake's publishing company. I forget what it was called. And we did a demo in England at Nicolo's studio, and so I was still
So yeah,
still writing,
part of it. But
still
then
doing.
then the clothes happened. So but
No, this was simultaneous. The thing is, with the clothes, you couldn't be. It's like people were like wanted to put you in a box. It's like you do clothes. That doesn't mean you could play guitar and like write songs. Like why? Why? Like how come?
that is so true.
How come?
Oh my God, that's true.
So there was still these sexist attitudes, and
They're just comfortable with it. You know, they don't know how to consider people
they have to
outside of that.
compartmentalize, or you know. And it was like, and then I realized too, I was writing these songs and they were good pop tunes or whatever, but I'd play them. I don't want to say to who, but they're like, But then I listen and I'm like, later, you know, and I was like, why did I like listen to that?
Right.
That sort of
I know,
like,
right?
Sure. And I thought they were just competitive.
As the settlement grew into a village, paths became roads for wagons and carriages.
The third zone is the well-known iris, which expands and contracts the pupil much like the diaphragm of a camera. The iris will soon be described in greater detail.
But if you want, touch. And you can adjust fine-tuning to suit your taste at any time. If you overtune on this or any other control, just push the companion button to reverse the direction of the control.
But I remember the scene, though. I mean, there was just so many different kinds of people, and I remember looking and just noticing there were some older people that were part of it. And at first, I'm like, "This is ours," and then I thought, "Well, you know, it's not. It's anybody that wants to be here."
Yeah, because remember, like punk didn't sound one way.
No, not at all.
I mean, you had like the Blasters. You had punk
the
wasn't one
Screamers.
thing. The Screamers.
And the Dickies. And, I mean, everything was just like... And that's why I think it's sad that a lot of the bands that we were all in, you know, if there had been a record industry, because we were right in their fucking backyard, but if there had been an industry that would have actually supported us, like they did in England, like they did in New York, you know, bands could have stayed together, bands could have developed, bands could have had producers, and maybe a little songwriting help, and maybe just some things that they poured into these other kinds of musicians from the 60s.
One of my favorite bands was The Quick.
The Quick, I
I
saw
met
them.
in high school.
Right.
One of the first gigs Backstage Pass did was opening up for Quiet Riot at the Roman Inn Hotel or something like that.
Oh, man.
And we used to have to find these gigs, you know, like I remember seeing The Nerves at some weird made-up venue. I mean, we had to find these gigs and make these things happen.
Well, one time the Bags played an afternoon show at an airline training school near LAX. And it was like a hotel, or like a two-story hotel-looking thing with an atrium, a courtyard in the middle. And we sat up in the middle and played. And all we had was 2 or 3 guys from somewhere leaning over the rail watching us, just kind of like shaking their heads, like, what the fuck is this?
That's so
But we got
funny.
$100 for the show.
Yay,
so
that
we
was a
didn't
lot
care.
of money.
Oh, yes. You know, $10 to take care of rehearsal, and each of us got, you know, $18 or $19. It's like, I'm going to 2 guys from Italy and get some pizza.
I think we got 100. Spock had a she kept everything, and then so did Marina, and it was like written down like this. We got paid $100, you know, like you know, like this kind of thing. But
Kept the books.
Kept the books.
Boy, I know $100 was a lot.
I think she used to write it on like a a record inner sleeve.
Oh, cool. Well, even better.
Sort of like our
Perfect.
history.
Yeah. Well, the whiskey I remember, the first time I played, that was my first show ever. Was at the whiskey, with the bags, and we got $100. And to me, I'm like, God, I like this life.
Wow.
I like this rock and roll thing. I just got $20, but in 1978,
Yeah, it was good
that's worth
money.
about 50 today or something. I don't know what, but
Yeah, I never could hold a job because if a band came into town,
yeah,
that was the end of that job. It was like
know.
temporary, like Christmas help at the Broadway. Done.
yeah, done right. Yeah,
And the hot rods are in town.
yeah,
Okay, later.
yeah. Temp agencies. And,
I never had any money. And poor Marina, because she was my roommate, I remember her and Chaz had shamrock shakes left over in the freezer, and they were like, where's the rest of our shamrock shakes? I think it was like, when did that come out? Like March,
I know,
yeah. And so I was always just like barely scraping by.
yeah. Well,
As I think
don't,
we all were.
I don't know anyone that wasn't. Even some friends of mine kind of had access to their parents, but they were in such conflict or
I was
whatever
in
with their
conflict
parents.
with my parents. So I would have to contact them for money, but I was in definite conflict with them.
Yeah. So the money was just never there. I mean, people like Jake came over and, oh, you rich Californians, fuck off, man. We're not, actually.
Yeah.
A lot of us don't have much money at all other than what we make going to a day job or a night job or some temp thing. That's pretty much our money. But
I think
again,
like his thing was, weather really kind of influenced the different scenes.
Sure.
Like LA
Yeah.
had sunny weather. England, it was raining all the time.
Yeah.
New York, it was cold. So I think like, in England, people were on the dole, so
Yeah.
I think that's where a lot of that shtick came from.
I agree with you 100%. It just
It's like we don't drive when it's raining. I mean, I canceled
Yeah,
with
I know.
you when it was raining.
and I was
Yeah.
glad because I'm like I don't want to do it either.
Yeah.
Like, no thanks. Well, it's true, and I think our scene. I remember the one thing that I'll if I had to remember one thing about it, it's that everybody loved to, have fun, yes, but to be funny. There's so
Yeah.
much comedy, and they're just being funny and laughing and enjoying it from that angle. That really appealed to me, and I thought, so we'd go to New York and in places, and they're just like kind of glum and.
Yeah, I agree.
And life is not like that. And come back to LA, and everybody's a comic, and I just man, I love that.
And then there
It's
was
so
the San
cool.
Francisco scene,
Yeah, there was that.
which was a little. I think that sort of what I remember of the pre-punk stuff from San Francisco. I really liked the Tubes,
yes,
which
right.
was
okay. Again,
very
right. One of those bridge
sort
bands.
of art. Yeah. So they had a different flavor, but it kind of worked well with the LA scene. Felt like we were really connected.
Yeah,
But
loved San Francisco.
yeah.
They were a little more political sometimes.
Yeah.
They had that, but that was San Francisco.
Yeah.
we liked it. We had this friendly back and forth, like, oh, you LA guys, you don't care about anything. Oh, you stuffy San Francisco people, you're all. But we loved each other, and I just loved going up.
Did you hear that the Mabuhay Gardens is open again?
Yes, I read that. Yes, just a few days
Wild.
ago. It's like, oh my God. Okay, well, I wonder if they're going to have that Dayglow noodle thing, whatever, number 2 or number 3 on the menu. I forget what it was. But that was great because the Bags played there. But Jane and I would drive up there a few times, to see the Weirdos or something, and just to go to San Francisco.
Yeah, we opened for the Mumps and we opened for Devo a couple times.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was fun when we played San Francisco. I have like a very hilarious situation in my book when I went off with somebody and the band didn't know where I was, and I was like on a street corner for half an hour till they found me.
They found you, though. That's the
found
amazing
me.
thing.
Spock had said, "Nobody's going home with anybody tonight because we are leaving tomorrow."
It's a band.
Yeah, this was at the nuns' party. The nuns had a party.
Oh, yeah.
And I first had like a crush on Jennifer Moreau, but she was so beautiful, like a punk Veronica Lake or something,
Yeah.
But then she wasn't interested, and so I swapped over to this other guy that sort of looked like David Bowie-esque, and I went off with him. So I didn't follow Spock's instructions. So I ended
And
up
you
on a
got in
street corner, and then I couldn't ride in the same, like, we like caravanned. Holly had a truck, and I couldn't ride in the same like car with Spock because she was gonna like wring my neck.
Yeah. That's right.
But but it was this guy Robert, who I had gone off with. Actually, Marina ended up being in her band Viva Beat with him. So it's funny, like these, like again, these
that thing,
connections and these things. Like maybe that was some divine intervention for Marina. I don't know, but yeah. So anyway,
Yeah.
it was kind of interesting to write this book. I tried to really like tell these stories. That I tried to tell these stories like the age I was at. So it's almost like a lost diary. If
All
you
roads
will.
lead to punk.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, and you got some great photos in here, too.
There's a
And that's
picture
really
of
fun.
Jeffrey Lee Pierce and Spock at when the Damned were in town. And you said there's a picture of you in the distance?
Yes. Well,
And then there's a picture of me with gear, and right above my
Oh.
head is an album cover that turns out my husband designed, which was a Pretty Things record for.
there's
There's the Debbie
Debbie with
for
the
TP.
Tom Petty.
Yeah,
God.
spray paint. Donna
Jeez.
Santisi took that picture,
Yeah. That she is again
and
kind
Donna
of
took that as
destroying it.
well.
I know. Yeah,
Donna
was
died
great.
last year.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved
And-
her.
Yeah.
She was killer.
Such a
She's
great part of the whole scene. Yeah, I don't remember with that.
As commerce and industry thrived, the people sought out easier and faster ways of moving about.
Here is an outside view of the entire choroid, which shows the dense network of arteries and veins carrying nourishment to the eyeball. You can also see the shape of the ciliary body and the iris.
In the same way, press this rocker bar to adjust the color. Variable all the way from black and white to maximum color intensity.
Oh man, that's an excellent addition.
Oh, here's the bump in store.
Oh yes, so I've seen that one. Oh, there we go. That's
Me
right
and Brian
there.
James. Oh my God, that's you?
Yeah.
Oh wow,
Yep. I don't know who I'm talking to, but
that's wild.
how strange. I know. But that other photo, yeah, Jeff.
There's Jake.
That's great. Yeah, there's Jake, right?
Yeah, and that's Spock was with Rat, and then you could see in this photo with Jeffrey Lee Pierce, you could see Jake, and then Greg Shaw.
Greg Shaw, yeah.
Yeah, Greg Shaw.
He truly loved his rock and roll. Greg.
There's me and Tom Petty.
Yeah, and Tom Petty.
It's so that Backstage
Right.
Pass was going on tour with them.
Yeah. Well, it's just really fun. It's anybody could, especially if you didn't know anything about what was going on, but are curious. I mean, this is a great little walk through that whole thing.
Thank you.
Because I I walked through that whole thing,
We
and
were
I was
walking
just going
next
along.
to each other.
Yes, and I was just going along with this, like, oh man, this is fun. It's so fun to just take that little journey again. So for anybody, it's like it's just great. It's a perfect way to do this, and records. There's records.
I did feel so grateful to that whole scene, and because I don't know how I would have like survived and how I would have just I don't know, just
Yeah.
worked through. I think we all came from different family situations, or we all ended up there for a reason.
Yeah, I think so.
But then we also had to play music
Yeah.
and create, and like you said, some of the stuff that got us through was just being funny and
Yeah.
ironic, and
Yeah. And there's just so many really smart people, so many really creative people, so many very sexy people. It was
Yeah.
just such
you
a
could
fun
be all
thing.
those things.
Yes.
You could be sexy,
Yeah.
or if you didn't want to be, don't. You could.
Well, you could define yourself any way you wanted,
Yeah.
and we didn't care
I
because
like
that
the
was the whole
freedom
point.
of that.
Yeah.
I like the freedom of being able to define yourself different ways however you felt.
Right. And it was instantly there were just.
It seemed like no judgment too.
Well, I didn't think so. I've heard other people, a couple.
I never felt it.
Tell me that, oh, that was all kinds of judgment. I'm like, really? I didn't, I wasn't there then. I didn't hear that. I didn't see that. Because there were all kinds of, there was such a mix of people, of ethnicity and sexual preference and gender and whatever.
Yeah,
It was all there. I didn't give a shit. Because you know what we all were? We were human first and whatever second. And we all bonded together as people, as islands. I mean, as misfit toys on our
Misfits.
little island. And that was all that mattered.
It was
United by
comforting.
music.
It was comforting to me to be with other people that needed it as well.
Yes.
Needed a scene.
Yeah.
And it wasn't based like with like bloated record company stuff.
Thank God.
For those few years when it was just pretty.
Yeah, it would have
innocent.
completely ruined it.
Yeah.
It was so good. I mean, so there is blessing in the fact that record companies did not come and hang out and try to sign us and do all. I mean, there's good and bad. I
Right.
wish they had for the band's sake, but the fact that they didn't kept a kind of purity that we couldn't have had otherwise. And so now, I mean, those of us who were there can look back and just go, wow, I mean, that was about as organic as anything is ever going to be. It doesn't mean that other people can't do it. They do. I see it now all the time. I see young people now doing the same kind of thing. It's just as organic because record companies aren't hitting them up either, and that's why I feel such a kinship with them because they're doing the same thing. And they're out there, in spite of the internet, they're having to grind it out and get one van at a time, and oh my God, just some really talented people. So it's just an amazing kind of lineage of people in this part of the world that have dedicated themselves to pop culture and pop music and doing shit that we were lucky enough to be a part of.
Yeah, I just think we had to do it. We had to make
Couldn't agree
sense
more.
of our situations in a creative way.
Yeah. Where else could we have done it? I mean,
I don't know. I don't know how I would have survived.
yeah, had it not been for that, I mean, oh my God, just glad it happened. That's all.
Me too.
Yeah.
I remember going to Brendan had some kind of mask reunion,
Oh, yeah.
and I just felt
remember
like
that.
this is like my high school.
I know,
This was my
that's what
high
it was,
school.
Yeah, I wasn't here. I didn't go. I
Yeah,
would've
and
gone.
I had people signing. He wrote a book, Nightmare in something alley.
Yes.
Sorry,
But I can't
my
remember
memory.
the title either. Yeah. Right.
But I had people sign it, and I thought, yeah, this is like my high school yearbook, really.
Yeah. Exactly what it was. Anyway.
I'm so glad that you had me.
Oh,
Thank
Jenny,
you.
thank you so much. I'm so glad you did this. because it's just, I mean, like I said, it's a little unfair because I was there, but I so enjoy hearing, and I agree with you on so many things that you were saying about how things were changing and we could feel that and you knew that, and it wasn't like
You could really.
it was different than other
could
things.
really feel it.
Yeah, it was palpable. It was right there.
palpable.
So anyway, we did it. We were a part of it.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.